Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. Welcome to the Artcast.
Yes, welcome. And how are you?
I am well. I can't believe it's June already.
I know. What has
June is busting out all over the something, something, something. I don't remember.
The Pacific Northwest.
That's right. Let's go with that. It's good. It just feels like May went by so fast. I can't even believe it. And tomorrow we're going to San Diego because June 8th is Stu's 60th birthday.
Wow.
So we're going to go see some elephants.
That boy's getting up there.
I know he is getting up there. So he wanted to see some elephants, and I didn't want to go to India, and I didn't want to go to Africa. Too far.
Right.
Not right now.
Not right now.
And at another time.
Right.
So,
and he wants to go see the elephants because he's a big elephant fan because of that story.
Yeah, the elephant story. You can check him out at ovationcompany.com.
Right.
You can watch it online. Because if you haven't heard, Stu's an educational speaker.
Right.
He's a motivational speaker for kids. He hates to call him
I know,
that.
he hates to be called that. He calls himself an edutainer.
Edutainer.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so we're excited for our little trip, and we're just going to be down there. We might go sailing.
Oh, fun.
My coworker's son owns a sailing business, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we're probably going to go sailing. And
that'll be so
I know,
fun.
because I haven't done that in a bazillion years.
Right.
I can't even remember the last time I sailed. Sailing's different than boating.
Sailing is different than boating.
I think
sailing kind of scares me a little bit.
I guess, is catamaranning considered
That's sailing.
I did that in my 20s.
Wow.
So that's how long it's been.
Wow.
So it could be interesting. Anyway, what's up with you?
Well, I'm grounded finally. I'm not going anywhere until...
You have been gone.
I know. Too much travel. It's so funny. I never thought I would say that.
I don't think I'll ever say it. But you always go way more than I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Zion was amazing.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking to my garden.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And people have to come visit you.
That's right.
It's their turn.
That's right. And I'm looking forward to Kristen coming back.
She should be here pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
So we'll have our producer back.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
That'll be nice. Well, guess where we are?
Where are we?
We're at North Idaho College.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
It makes me feel very, very studious.
It does. It does. I love this little school. This is a great place. So tell us who we're here to see.
We are here with Marita Diffenbaugh, who is in charge of the new X-Lab at North Idaho College.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I loved listening to your intro. And I do want to say a tiny bit about elephants. Yes, I have seen this talk.
Oh, you have?
About the young elephants needing to have the older elephants helping them.
Big elephants.
Well, big elephants helping the little elephants.
Yeah.
If you imagine, that's like a perfect segue into what X-Labs is all about. So if we think about how might we have students, instructors, employers, and community experts, which many times might be our retired folk that have lived life and have a lot to share to mentor about, how about we all get together and solve problems? And what if that could be what we learn about and what we teach about? Because if we do that, then we're sure that we're doing one of two things. We are making sure that we're getting people ready for their next steps in life, and we're getting them ready for their next steps in job. Because as we have the employer there, we're ensuring that the workflows that we do match. And how do we do that? We do it one project at a time. And so imagine that you start with a question, then you go to the whiteboard, you start think tanking about it. From there, you unpack it and say, all right, we've got these ideas for solutions. Let's prototype and put some of those ideas into action. And then we present those to our community experts, our employers, getting their feedback to see, hey, did we hit the mark? Are we on to the right space that way? And it ends up being a win-win win-win, win-win. Like we're all learning around the way. But it's exactly the same big elephant, small elephant.
Right.
And I love that. And we need that in everywhere that we teach. We need to be mentored. And if you think back, this isn't new, right? Apprenticeship ideas have been around from the beginning. We read back in history and we see there's always been the person who understands and has mastered something, and then up and coming, somebody behind them to join them. And, I just saw it recently with my son and my grandson. He's out there, my little 3-year-old grandson, watching my son just wanting to learn so badly from him, and how proud he is when he gets that feedback of, yeah, you're on the right track, or even the feedback of, no, not quite that, do this part instead. And It's so wonderful to have that. So there we are. We talk about NIC X-Labs.
So I'd like to hear, a little bit about you, and then what is it that brought you to this whole idea?
Well, what brought me there was curiosity. It always has been. I follow the curiosity, which usually it's what if, how might. And so, I started here in Idaho, went to Boise State, was never going to be a teacher like my mom, but became a teacher like my mom. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a pastor. So it was just bound and determined that I was going to be in a space to be helping to influence and support others and their learning and hoping to make the world a better place, and make a difference. So lived in South Idaho for years. My husband and I raised our children down there. And then I taught in the classroom for about 14 years, got into educational technology because I followed my own child into the world of technology back with MySpace. If you can even remember back in the MySpace days. Oh my gosh.
I was on that for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
I never did it.
So following what is this online space? And I got my degree to support teachers in that, and became kind of a teacher of teachers, if you will, at that point. And in that work, I thought we need to do something more with K-12 education. There's something systematically that needs to be updated. So I did some research around that, got my superintendent degree, and really thought I need to work at a system level to help see what can be possible and what can we do a little bit differently so that school could be for everyone. Because we have some people who believe that school's not for them. And we have some people who believe college is not for them. And that's a narrative that I'm interested in changing personally, to say, no, learning is for everyone. And by the way, when you go to college, when you go to elementary, middle, high school, those are venues to give you the space and time to be able to grow and learn. That being said, how can those spaces, those educational spaces, be relevant, responsive, and co-work, if you will, with community and with industry? And so that's always been my question. That got me into the State Department of Education and worked there to really look at how we could do mastery-based education, like competency-based, and remove the averages because they're not even real. And how can we relook at measuring success of learning? And through that, I started really thinking about the job of a learner. Fast forward, our children get older. They decide they're going to move north. My husband and I just followed them right up here because they have the grandbabies. Off we go.
Right, of course.
So here we land, and I was given the opportunity to start a school if North Idaho would want the school, and that was Elevate Academy North. And this was all in 2020, if you can imagine, coming to a new place, meeting everyone. That's when I fell in love with our Kootenai County. I fell in love with this community and realized that we have a lot in common when it comes to wanting to make a difference, wanting to work together, and really just encouraging each other. So that's what happened. We started that school. It opened in 2022. It's a 6th through 12th grade career technical school over in Post Falls, and they're thriving and doing well. When the first graduating class, because we start with 6th through 10th grade, so I served as principal for 3 years, and when that first graduating class was coming up on their graduation, I'm also wondering what's it looking like for them next, because they have thrived here in an applied learning, project-based, industry-driven experience. What's it going to look like next? When I saw the director of innovation job and the role, read it to my husband, he's like, yeah, you got to go. Like, this is a push. You got to do it and be at the next school. And that's what I've had the opportunity to do. So this last year, working with this amazing team at North Idaho College and imagining how could we take that strategy of applied applied learning through projects. And we went and used some of the resources that we learned from James Madison University and their launch of something called X-Labs, but we put it into North Idaho College in our community in a way of it's for the entrepreneurs, and it's for the engineers, and it's for the change agents, and it's for everyone, really, because who doesn't want to solve a problem? And we actually need each other in all the different opinions when we solve problems. So we're using it as a school-wide, campus-wide, community-wide strategy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, that is really exciting.
Oh, I wish this was around when my son was struggling.
I know.
Because he always, enforced, let's go to college. And he was at NIC for first it was charter. He went to charter, and charter was a little too much for him because it was the workload was amazing, and he just couldn't do it. And he kind of went backwards, and he kind of, his love of learning was lost for a while. And then he graduated high school, and then he started at NIC, and he just felt like he didn't know where he belonged. He couldn't figure out, and where he thrives is on the computer. And and this is where he's eventually ending up. So a program like this, I love that project-based is such a great, there's so many different ways to learn.
Yeah. Right.
And that is what my son needed. Yeah. And I wish he could have had it. Now he's 25 and he's learning a different way. But it's just, I love this opportunity for people in North Idaho.
Right.
This is amazing. So this program's 2 years old? Or 1 year?
Just 1 year. We just started launching the idea of it this year. Okay. We have been working on some projects, and one of the projects that came to us came through a question that students had. So we had a group of students, small group of students, apply for something called the University Innovation Fellows. It's the first time that we've ever had a community college involved in this kind of a work, which is this problem solving at a global level. So I had a chance to just co-learn with these students, and we started with a question: what's a problem that's top of mind that you'd like to solve? And they said, well, it's really about communication and navigating the website and finding everything we need to find. And in our small group of students, we had somebody who was just brand new into college, and somebody who was working in the student government, and then somebody who was actually working over at Gizmo here. And so a nice diversity of group there, just a small group. And they said, well, we all have a communication problem. And I just kept hearing this idea of a communication problem. We can say that. All of us can say we have communication problems, because when you feel like you don't know something, then it's a communication problem. Well, I think we even looked deeper in that. They did a lot of interviews all around campus. They interviewed students, they interviewed faculty, they interviewed our IT department. Everyone made themselves available for our students. And through that, they came back and said, AI keeps coming up. We need a little bit of AI. And I said, tell me more. Like, what about this AI? So we went back to the whiteboard and we went through this design thinking model that we have through X-Labs. And out of that, they said, well, we need to actually bring industry in. So we dreamed up an idea of having an AI for industry think tank. And we put I put the invitations out there. They did all of the work as far as the messaging on the posters and such, and the social media campaign. And we ended up having, I think there were 25 industry folks that came.
Wow.
Business owners, everything, on a Friday for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
wow.
On a Friday morning. And they show up right here in Headland Building, and we set them in a circle, and then they were in the inside of the circle around a table. And then on the outside of the circle, we had invited North Idaho College faculty, staff, students, and University of Idaho faculty, staff, students to listen. And we strategically thought about who should be in the room listening. And I helped the students with their design, and they also dreamed up the design to come up with kind of what that protocol would be for the think tank. So they delivered it. They launched it. They said, well, on the outside, you're not talking. On the inside, you're talking. And then they started asking questions that were top of mind around artificial intelligence to our local industry. We even had folks coming over from Spokane as well. So we had quite a good group there. Out of that, we took notes, and the whole outside circle was just surrounded by these tall whiteboards that you're seeing around you, and tons of notes. Then, we gave them some coffee and off they went. But they left us with gold. On those boards were absolute treasure, because now we could look through and say, what's top of mind in our community about AI? We didn't have to guess on it. We didn't have to read about it online. We heard it right from them. We put those into 7 different questions. 2 weeks later, we invited back anybody who wanted to to come and do a hackathon. And what that was is we're going to have a short window of time to solve this problem. You're going to pick a problem out of the 7 questions, pick a question and hack it. Hack the actual question. What is it that you think that is really being asked here? What are ideas for solutions? Unpack it with everything you know with your small group. And then in about 4 hours, we're going to have some industry partners here, and you're going to pitch something to them. And I said to them, you probably just have an idea of a prototype. Here's what blew our minds. We had 7 different groups of people come. I think we ended up having almost 60 folks show up on a Saturday.
Wow.
Right? High school students, college students, people who were curious in our community, and actual business owners showing up to just play a bit, if you will, but also around something that was important to them and do this design thinking. We gave them a lean canvas, a way to sort their problem solving, and a little script of some ideas of how to be on track so that they could have something to share. And they all came with real prototypes using AI. They did a lot of vibe coding. They did a lot of looking at what they already had, and they had some solutions. So much so that some of our industries, as they were listening, they're like, gosh, I would actually buy something like that. Of course, the researchers in the room were like, hold on, we have to research everything. And It was like a yes and.
Right.
Yes, this is a good idea. And we would have to dig a lot deeper before taking this truly out into a live situation. But we created a sandbox environment. But that sandbox environment was based on real industry needed questions that needed to be solved. So out of all that information from the hacking that we did came more questions about, well, what kind of a class could benefit everyone? Students that are naturally coming to North Idaho College for other reasons, and also employers who want to send their employees to NIC to get an AI certification. And we're taking all that data, and it's helping us with building out some of that work. And our partnership with University of Idaho, as we have 14 PhD students working in our robotics, automation, and AI lab, they are working with our North Idaho College faculty and students to really look at that, like what should be there and how does this fit this continuum of learning. So it's just beautiful work. It's a pleasure to be a part of.
Crazy.
It gives me chills when you talk about it.
I know. It's a
like
little over my head.
A little over my head.
The computer stuff is like, whoop,
yeah.
right. AI and YYY. But I love it.
And I feel like AI, the whole concept of AI gets such a bad rap that there are actually really good things to use AI for. Artists in particular aren't real crazy about AI because they think that AI is going to take away from their art. You know, writers who want the human element to still be part of art. So it's really fascinating to hear that AI it's a thing. It's just a tool. Yep. It just depends on the way you use it.
Exactly.
Well, and as you're talking about that level of fear a little bit on that, Allie, it's like that is another thing that we took an X-Labs project to is the Coeur d'Alene Public Library, because we had been visiting with the team there, and they said, we have people coming in and they're saying help us learn about artificial intelligence. Tell us learn about this, and we're a little bit scared. And what is it doing? So we took a group of between NIC and U of I. We took a group of computer science students and psychology students, and we dreamed up learning stations that we could offer for these free workshops at the library, and the students presented those, and they taught about AI through a gaming lens. So they had ping pong, they had Pong, they had Connect 4, and they showed that analog, like without any technology. They showed it with automation, and they showed it when AI would be infused. So to help understand a little bit of the computer science behind things, because like what you're saying, Callie, it's like, wait, what is going on?
Right.
It's like when my son was trying to explain to me how the internet works, he's said many times, but I'm with you, right? However, we need to know enough about the computer science behind AI to help us know really what are we choosing to use it for? When do we activate it? When do we not want to activate it? How do we validate what it's telling us? and just really understand a little bit under the hood, if you will. And so that's what those workshops ended up doing. And I'll never forget this sweet lady. She was so excited because she said, I always thought my phone was smarter than me, but it's not. And we said, of course it's not smarter than you. And she says, well, because I play Scrabble every single day, and I'm always winning on the triple word score because I know why. It hasn't been coded to know about the triple word score rule. And she made all that connection from what the students had shared with her.
Oh,
and
wow.
I just loved that.
Yeah,
That was
so
a great,
cool.
for her, that matters in her life every day. And that's a habit she has. And I just think that's really an important thing. So no matter what we're doing and no matter what comes and goes with content, the gift is always the humans in the room, right? And so whatever, that's what I love about being part of the work here at North Idaho College, that we can invite people to come just a project at a time, a question at a time, and start working on things together with this precious gift of time that some of the students get to have being in college. Let's use that to help us as a community as a whole.
Need shirts, hats, signs, or stickers?
If you can dream it, Pyramid Printing can print it.
For over 25 years, Pyramid Printing has been a Coeur d'Alene favorite for screen printing, embroidery, banners, and more.
Big job, small job, no problem. Just give Eric a call and let the local pros take it from there.
Email info@pyramidprintingcda.com or call 208-664-0254 or visit pyramidprintingcda.com.
Pyramid Printing, printing made easy and done right. Looking to bring big flavor to your next event? Scraps Barbecue has you covered. From golf tournaments and sporting events to corporate gatherings, weddings, and family celebrations, Scraps Barbecue delivers unforgettable food wherever you need it. Their commercial kitchen can be on site, or they'll bring a fully catered meal straight to you. Known for their authentic Santa Maria-style tri-tip and crowd-favorite tequila lime fish tacos, Scraps Barbecue can customize a menu for groups from 20 to 2,500. Book your next event now. Email Kevin at scrapsbbq.com or find Scraps Barbecue on Facebook. Scraps Barbecue. Real flavor, real fire, real good times. So tell us, where do you think this program, I mean, it's really in its infancy, what do you envision it becoming in the next year, the next 5 years? What do you see?
I think that X-Labs is like a welcomed strategy right now. It's resonating with students, it's resonating with faculty, it's resonating with community, and it's also with our employers. And I think one of the things with higher ed is really helping to show the value proposition. Like, hey, what is the value? What's your return on investment for higher education, individual and employer and community, and why is this important to us, right? And I think the more we can do co-working together, the better. I'm very excited to say this next year, we have something called X-Labs Design Leads that we're launching, and that is a faculty member in each learning hub, if you will. So health professions, business, human sciences, which includes education, STEM, trades and industry, communications and art. All of those hubs, if you will have an X-Labs design lead. And then we are coming together as a small group to say, what are problems that are top of mind that you're talking about in your division meetings every month? And what might be some problems we can solve together? And who in the community should we invite? So I think that's the biggest thing for anyone listening in here is just know you're welcome to come and co-work with us. If you're curious, you're going to follow us on the social medias. You follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, or just pop over. We also have a beautiful space that we are getting a chance to develop, which will be open. That's an innovation center. And that'll be a place to come, just like we are here today. There's places to just brainstorm together. After we get done with the brainstorming, with our problem solving, then we want to think about where to go prototype. That might be over at Gizmo. It might be up at the Parker Center working in one of our labs and shops there. It could be over at our workforce training. It might be another place on campus. Man, it might even be at your own shop if you're an employer, and bring us back to be able to work in a small group to prototype things. I think this is just an opportunity for us to activate the resources we have. And no matter what comes with automation, no matter what comes with tools, our gift always is the community. Right. And so I think this is just going to be a way for us to do a couple things, learn things that are relevant, but also in the meantime, I noticed that when people get around and start doing this, they see what they have in common more than what they have different. And so just as a bigger picture, humanity as a whole, I think it makes us better. Right?
Oh, I love that. I love that. So anybody in the community can come and access this program.
And what's the website? Or
Google NIC X-Labs and you'll find us. We've done a good job of putting some digital footprints down and kind of showing pictures and short videos of our process. So LinkedIn is a place where a lot of our businesses connect with us, but we also have Instagram and Facebook where we're highlighting some things. And I think just follow us, look for some more events. We'll definitely do another hackathon this next year, and that'll be loud and open. We're also partnering with a lot of our organizations around, in addition, I mentioned University of Idaho as our great partner, but we're also partnering with like Idaho Tech Council. We have something called Innovate Inland Northwest that's coming up. We have our Idaho Manufacturing Alliance. And actually in just 2 weeks, we're going to be over at the I-90 Aerospace Conference that's coming up here right over at the Coeur d'Alene Resort. And there's a small group coming over to do some stations right here in our building. And we'll be having some things on out in the college zone to show some of this work that the students are doing. So we'll have students highlighting robots, talking aerospace, drones, all of that.
That's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me an example of somebody in the community that might have a need. How would they come and help themselves here?
Oh, I love that question because we haven't had it designed yet all the way. What we do have right now, Allie, is if you go onto the website, it has a place where it says, I'm a student, I'm a community member. You could kind of fill out a form and there's enough space there to put your question and your idea. And then we can reach out and work on that. And that being said, we're actually kind of prototyping another whole workflow that does some of that because we want to also curate the types of learning that has happened. So others can kind of say, oh, we were just helping out this agriculture type experience that we were working on. And we were using our robots, we were using some AI for that. And these are the students involved and what happened there. That might open up a whole thing. I was just working actually before you got here with Evergreen Bioscience. And we were talking about some of the work that we might do with them as we're looking at some of the healthcare needs that we have in our area. What was top of mind for the gal I was visiting with, Michelle, she said, as everything's becoming more digitized, our rural community is getting served through digital healthcare. And that's a problem for some because they want that human component.
Sure.
So we were dreaming up this morning, maybe an X-Labs project around what might we do to bring the human component to, it's kind of the yes and. Yes, we're going to have this resource still, and you only have so many specialists, so we still have to use this workflow.
Right.
But I was explaining to her, I just was recently at the doctor appointment where I went in and I had a specialist appointment where I was talking on an iPad to the person, but I had already had the whole human experience ahead of time, so somehow that didn't seem so strange to me.
Right.
I felt cared for still. But if I would have just been home by myself on an iPad, I don't know if it would have felt the same. So that's just a very much human example of what can we do to take care of humans, and that might become an X-Labs project. If somebody's curious about that out there, I mean, that would be one that's top of mind right now.
So do you offer a degree in this?
Oh, really good question. So this is actually a strategy, not necessarily a program that supports all of our programs.
Okay.
So yes, you might take some workforce training courses and you're involved in X-Labs projects and you're gaining some skills that way. You might be earning a certification. You might be earning degrees. have it be a technical degree or a more academic transfer degree. What we're noticing is the need to cross the lines between all those different programs and organization that we've done in higher ed to say, let's just focus on the topic we want to solve.
Right.
And then we'll let that learning go back and feed whatever area that we're trying to show competency in, have it be competency for that cert so that we can make sure to take the test and be able to get what we need there. But definitely we want to be able to find a way to curate the way that people are involved in X-Labs projects so that it could potentially be a stackable for them and continue to grow through.
Right.
So yeah, see it as like this infused strategy of a way of doing teaching and learning, but then also for the employer side of things, if they see X-Labs and they know that you were involved in X-Labs, they know that you were part of design thinking, that you were part of working with others, that you had to come up with problem solving, so you probably have those employability skills. Right. So that's going to be a nice byproduct of this work as well.
Sure. Right? I love the whole collaborative feel to this. You know, the fact that you're working with Gizmo, somebody dreams something up in here and then they go to Gizmo to actually build it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you know, any of the other programs on campus to be able to do that. That's so cool.
It is. It's really fun. And it's this idea of, Callie, you were saying how you were talking about your son and how not everybody's learning and wants to learn in the same way. However, what we all have in common is problem solving. We do it all day long and we don't separate, wait, this is my time for only doing math. Over here, I'm only doing my writing. It's all intermixed and we have to solve all day long. And the real health of all of this is having a team to do that with, which builds confidence, which builds those competencies. And it doesn't mean that we don't have a time to go deep dive, as I like to call it, go in the cave and go deep dive into your research. There might be a time for that. But many people do better in this kind of campfire environment that we're having here. Yeah. And they really love the mountaintop when they can share what they've learned. And that's when the real beauty comes, because if you can teach it, you know it.
It's such a great tool. And let's face it, I mean, most people do work in groups or work with other people. So having these skills at a younger age or any age, it's only going to benefit you.
Right.
So another advantage.
Right. I know. It's just totally inspired my little Montessori brain.
Yay. Yes. Learn by doing.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Right. I do love that. Learn by doing.
And it's also gives space for creativity, which is so important. You had said what gets me into anything, it's curiosity. And why do I get curious? Because I love to create and design, and that's me personally and my special way of learning. But I think most humans have that desire to, hey, when I get up in the morning and I'm contributing something, did it matter? Was it valuable? And did it matter that I showed up for it?
Yeah, well, that's all part of the creative process. You have to have the problem, be curious enough to want to solve it, and then you figure it out.
Yes, you do.
And then you put it on your mother's refrigerator or something.
Yes, there's your mountaintop.
Yeah,
There's your
exactly.
showcase.
Yeah, that's the very important part of the creative process.
That refrigerator is an important place to highlight things that matter.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, this is awesome. I'm so excited for all that you're doing, and I can't wait to hear more about the different projects that you have going on and the think tanks and just the collaboration.
With the community.
Super cool.
I love that the community is involved.
Yes.
And that they're interested.
Right.
Because, you never know.
That's right. You never know.
In this community, sometimes you're like, oh, they do care about things that are really important and different and educating. And, it gives me hope.
Well, I know what the website is. It's nic.edu/X Labs.
Thank you for that.
Good
You're
job.
welcome.
For that. I will get that one memorized.
And I assume that on social media, it's just NIC X-Labs.
Yep, you'll find us that way.
So definitely check that out. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
for
want to watch
sure.
some of the projects or like
I know. I
that-
want to keep track.
because it's still a little bit over my head, but I love the idea of the whole thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
But I'm a visual person.
Right.
So I need to see
so-
a visual to have it click in my brain.
Exactly. Right.
We just need to get you to come do a X-Labs project
That's
with
true.
us.
That's right.
That's
I
true.
know.
I'll just bite you both.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
We're in.
Yeah. That'd be good. We'll expand our brains.
Oh my God. I hope mine doesn't explode.
It'll be all right. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Oh, well, thank you so much for meeting with us.
I love what you're doing here. I love that it sounds like you've devoted your life to education and then the advancement of education and this, I don't want to say new trend, but it's a new tool.
A new,
out there.
relatively new tool. Yeah.
And
something that people don't really understand. And I think it's time for people to start understanding what
Yes.
it is. So
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
both.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, please remember to like, follow, share, or subscribe to the Allie and Callie Artcast at
CallieArtcast.com. Ooh,
maybe we'll do a little think tank of our own.
I think we should.
I think we should.
Be good
you
for
go.
us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
And start with a little curiosity.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is sponsored in part by Scraps Barbecue, a locally owned catering company, the Chalkboard Agency, Getting Back to the Basics of Shared Learning and Human Connection, and Pyramid Printing, a Coeur d'Alene favorite for over 2 decades.